Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bones Unfiltered Podcast. This is episode 8. I'm your host, Bones, and today we are featuring the very talented John Major. And luckily for us, he's actually pretty close to me. I didn't realize how close. He's
Yeah.
actually currently in Richmond, Kentucky, going to be doing, hopefully, doing some gigs this weekend, eh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
brother. Well, if you would, for those who don't know, John Major is from Morreville, Mississippi. I've never been to Morreville before, but he's from
Mhm.
Morreville, Mississippi, but now currently is a resident in Nashville, Tennessee. Is that still the case?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm based out of Nashville.
Well, except for when he's doing what you see now, you see he's in
Yeah.
his Sprinter van because he
Yeah.
has been a very busy man lately. He's been on the move.
Absolutely, man. It's been wild.
So, tell everybody a little bit about how you got your start in the music industry.
Well, to be honest with you, about this past February made 5 years. My dad passed away, and
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
it's all right. But yeah, when he passed away, I was in the welding shop, and of course, I always wrote songs and stuff. And a year later, after he had passed, I'd come up in the house. I had just bought a new house and sat down and I wrote this song called Your Favorite Whiskey. And I posted it online and it got a 500,000 views and everything just kind of started rolling. And then I'd been wanting to go full time for a long time and I got to the point where I was working 168 hours every 2 weeks and I was playing 5 shows a week. And I said, once this music starts making more than the welding job, then I'll go full time. And so I did that for about 3 months, and uh, the music stack kept getting bigger, and the welding stack stayed the same. So I went full time, and definitely learned that a man can make a living off of picking up cans off the side of the road if he's willing to work.
That's
And
right.
excuse me. And then after that, I I started doing that, and I was like, man, let's try going on tour. And so I had got this Chevrolet 2009 Express van. The thing said everything but free candy. It was the creeper van of all creeper vans. I had a twin size mattress and a and I had enough room for my twin size mattress and to fit all my gear. And I used to call it the creeper sleeper. And so, but anyway, so I lived in that. So I started touring and everything was great. I come back and I was like, well, I don't really have a home base, and so I started using Nashville as my home base. And you see this hat that says Music City Bar and Grill.
Uh-huh.
Um, I actually lived out in that parking lot for a year. Um, and when I get off a tour, I'd always stop in and I'd stay in that parking lot, rain, sleet, snow, whatever, and I even had a flat tire one time in the middle of a tornado right there. And it was just, it was crazy. And, but anyway, my biggest thing was networking. Networking was more important to me than playing in Nashville because it's kind of saturated. But
Oh,
um,
I can only
so
fathom.
absolutely. So I started meeting a lot of cool people. Um, I got to meet Parker Divvy. He's a good friend of mine now. And I got to meet Jesse Keith Whitley. And when I first met Jesse, Jesse was like, "You're going to make it." He's like, "I see you staying out there in your van and everything." He said, "You're going to make it." And he pulls out $500. And I was like, wow. And and that gave me a lot of encouragement. So I went back on the road and started buying merch and stuff like that. And um, just got busier and busier. And last year I was in 33 states in 2 months. Yeah,
There's that
that's
van that he's
that's
talking
that.
about. I had to pull that up. That's what I was
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
That's his first, AKA livable van.
yeah, yeah. That was the creeper van, man. That was it was crazy, man. But it took me a lot of miles. I put 271,000 miles on that van.
Yeah, dang.
Yep. And
Wow.
so so that picture that you just showed, That I actually right there at that very moment in time, the transmission went out in Daytona, Florida, and
No
I was
shit.
stuck. Yeah, I was stuck at the Lewis truck stop for like 3 days, and I called my sister and I was like, man, because she's like a broker, she's kind of higher up in her company, and I said, why don't y'all sponsor me? And I was like, you see that I'm, what I'm doing. I got a lot of, accolades and stuff like that. And she said, let me call you back. I said, all right. And I was like, man, I literally thought my career was to a halt. Like I thought my career was over. And
No shit.
my sister calls me and she's like, you know what? You got $20,000, but you better pay me back. And I was like, all right, let's go. So I got a Sprinter van now, and I got, I can stand up in here. I got my bed in the back and everything. So it's been a hell of a ride. It's like one day you're on top of the mountain, next day you're down in the valley, and you don't know anywhere but up, and then boom, something else happens, and then you're back on track again. So, that's exactly how it goes.
Now, for the fans that are out there that don't understand what you're doing currently, I
Yeah,
mean, like he literally is while he's on the road, he's living in that Sprinter van.
yeah.
So, if you don't mind, walk everybody through like a kind of a daily ritual that you have to do while you're on the road. So, like, you drive to a certain location, then what do you do? Do you stop? Where do you normally have to reside at while you're in spot to spot? And then what do you do to try to get gigs and go do gigs? Like, what's a day in the life of John Major like when you're in the Sprinter van?
So what I do is, so I will get on the phone
Hmm.
and I'll go on Google and I'll
Hmm.
type in live music in whatever area that I want to go play. And I'll start from there and I'll kind of build a route and kind of where I want to go. And I'll call up everybody in that town and I'll say, hey, look, my name is Sean Major. Can I come play here or whatever? And, whether we can get the rate set right and everything else, we're on to go. And so what I do is when I go book that show, I'll go drive to that show, I'll go play it. And then after that show, I'll go to the next station in the nation where I want to play, go to the Lowe's truck stop. And I'll go in
Hmm.
there and I'll stay in the truck stop. And then I'll get up the next morning and then I'll start calling more places for the next show ahead of that one, and then I'll go play that show, and then I'll do the same thing all over again. So it's literally like drive, go play a show,
Hmm.
uh, go to the next truck stop, wake up next day, book shows, go play a show, and it's just kind of all over over and over again. So
That's just crazy.
yeah,
And that shows what he's got to do to make it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's some misconceptions out there that people think that the vast majority of these singers that really explode just kind of exploded right out of the chute. And that's not the case. There's a lot of trials and tribulations that
yeah,
you have to go through. And you can see, like him, I mean, he's touring alone. He is
yeah,
essentially being everything. He's being his own tour manager, booking agent. He's being his own driver, his own fucking roadie.
yeah,
You wear every damn hat everywhere you go,
yeah, yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's wild, man. And a lot of people, what gets me is I know like some people will say, "Well, man, you play for free," and I'm like, "Diesel ain't free." Like, yeah, you gotta.
Hell no.
I mean, like you just gotta make it, And a lot of people think, "Well, that's crazy." You have people pay you to play music, and I'm like, I'm just offering a service, you know. If they
Hmm.
like that service, they'll have me back, and I can only count on maybe four fingers of how many people told me not to come back or whatever. But it was either because the business was shut down or um, one time I did play a place in Huntsville, Alabama, and there wasn't anywhere to put drinks, and they didn't have any to-go cups, so all they had was glass cups, and I kicked over those cups. I probably kicked over 5 cups, I'm surprised they didn't take the glasses out of my pay, but yeah,
That is hilarious.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I probably busted like 4 or 5 cups.
So that shows just what he's doing to propel himself. And you've been all over the United States, correct?
I have. Like I said, I've last year I was in 33 states in 2 months. I've been as far north as Minot, North Dakota, where I was 50 miles away from the Canadian border. Butler, Pennsylvania, and then I've been as far south as Daytona, Florida, and Tyler, Texas. I've been as far east as Myrtle Beach,
Mm,
and then I've been as far west as Flagstaff, Arizona.
damn. So you have really been all over the place.
Oh yeah,
Now when you leave Nashville and you decide, hey, I'm gonna run this gauntlet around the US,
yeah.
roughly how long do you get on the road and you stay gone before you circle back to the house and kind of have a little R&R for yourself?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of that depends on what I have to do. Like, if it's Christmas time, like if it's close to Christmas, I always try to be home for a couple days for Christmas, and see the family. I believe in family morals. I don't have any children or anything, but it's always good to see my nieces and nephews and my sisters and everything. My mom, but usually what I do is just kind of depends on what I got to do. Sometimes I've been on the road for 2 months. Sometimes I've been on the road for I think the longest I've been on the road for 2.5 months. But
That's a long time.
and then circle right back around. But this time here lately, I've been gone for about a month. About a month and a half, something like that. And then I'll go and I'm going up. I'm going to play through here, and then I'm going to go to Ohio, see some of my folks in Ohio, and then go play in Indiana, and then I'll probably circle back around from there. But
Hell yeah. Well,
yeah, but
Miss Janice is in here. Janice Schmidt. Welcome, Janice. It's always good to see you and Val. Val,
hey,
thanks for
Janice.
dropping in. Miss
Yeah,
Janice saw your steering wheel and she's like, I assume John is a trucker. Well,
yeah,
yes and no, because he does
yeah,
drive himself. He is actually a musician, Janice. He does travel and right now he's doing it all. He wears every hat. So he drives himself. He's his own manager. He sets up his own gigs. He plays his own shows.
and I
He
write
does it.
songs
He
on the
does it
road.
all, and writes songs on the road, and
Yeah,
books while driving and
yeah,
moving around. So he is
yeah,
definitely the jack of all trades. That is for
yeah,
sure when it comes to uh, getting himself propelled through this crazy musical journey that he's embarked on. But
yeah,
thank you for that question. She said, "Thank you for all the hard work you're putting in for the American people," because she assumed you were as a truck driver. But you know what?
yeah,
Hats off to our truck drivers, because
yeah,
a lot of times our truck drivers are the ones that don't get noticed because um, it's just something that I think that we all take for granted on how we
yeah,
get everything that we have in life comes from a truck driver bringing it to us from wherever he received it. So without them, we wouldn't have cool shit like microphones, and John wouldn't have his cool ass guitar and shit
yeah,
like that, and his Sprinter van that he's riding in, and all that good stuff, and all the food that he eats while he's on the road is all prepared and done and by people that are in those type of industries, and it's all provided by truck drivers who bring them the materials they need to do stuff. So definitely, Miss Janice, you're right. Tip our hats to the American truck driver, as well as our military always, and police, fire, and EMS. We need all of them. So, but thanks for that question. That was a really good one. Now, I do want to ask. I did find a picture of you, and it was funny because you and I have some similar. We have some similar things that
okay,
you're afraid of heights. So am I.
yeah.
um, you found this picture here, which I thought was an intriguing photo. What's the story behind the Joey here, man?
Oh man, so that was That was in Salina, Ohio. There's a place called In-N-O's in Salina. If you haven't been there before, they have some of the best food in the country.
I have
Um,
not.
they it's this decent sized bar out in the middle of nowhere. It's a bunch of cornfields, and then you have this bar, but it's right on the Indiana. It's right on the Indiana Ohio line, and like I said, it's called In-N-O's, and I was going up there to go play, and somebody brought a baby kangaroo, and then the Amish showed up. And I was like, this is the craziest show I've ever had, man. But yeah, I went over there and I was like, can I please hold that kangaroo? I was like, I'll pay you. I was like, I've got to put this online.
So that was somebody just showed up with a little Joey.
Yeah,
That is, it's like their, I guess, is their emotional support Joey, I guess is what that was.
I guess.
But he's badass. I saw that, and it made me think of myself because when I wrote EMS years ago,
Yeah,
I found a calf that was left when they moved the herd out of the pasture and they closed it off for the season. It had
right,
been born apparently in while I was in one field. Well, it got hung between all these down trees and it couldn't figure out how to get out, so it was stuck, and all the other cattle were long gone. So I
right,
saw this thing moving. I jumped the fence. I went to see what it was. It was a baby calf. So I brought it. I got him free and figured he would take off where he was going. Well, of course, he followed me like I was mama. And I had to sit there and we had to figure out whose farm it was because there was like 4 farms that adjacent this property. So it was like, whose farm is this that has cattle to return it? And of course, they didn't even know their cow was pregnant. So they had no idea it even existed.
right.
And when I saw this Joey of you holding it, it just made me think of that. I thought it was hilarious,
Yeah.
and I thought maybe you went to Australia or something. You know,
Oh
that's what I kind
no.
of thought. Miss Val's like, oh, the kangaroo. Yes, I would have totally paid to hold that kangaroo too, though,
Yeah.
brother. I'm right there with you on that because that was pretty cool for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Now, I do have another question. Like, I do like this hat, and I wonder if this hat has to do with the actual Joe Diffie, and if so,
It's
what's your story behind the hat?
so like I was telling you earlier, like when I met Parker, Parker Diffie, um, Parker is the kind of guy that when you walk into the room, he makes you feel like $1 million. It doesn't
Mm,
matter if you just crawl out of a van at 8:30 in the morning and took a shower at the lowest truck stop, and whatever. Like he makes you feel like $1 million, and he was always a really good guy to me. And I'm gonna be trying to work to write songs with him. He's invited me over to his house sometime, and but anyway, that's a brand that he made in honor of his dad, and he's also going around the country playing shows and stuff, in honor of his dad and stuff. Even still has his dad's old band. The
oh
guys have
no shit.
pretty much teamed up and they've played around and stuff like that. But he's an awesome guy for sure.
No, that's really cool. Now, do you ever do any shows with him? Have you tried to get on any tickets with him or?
Well, so check this out. This is the cool part. So I told you, I stayed in my van, and that's how I met those guys.
Hmm.
I actually met them at the Nashville Palace, at Music City Bar and Grill, Nashville Palace, and there's a bar called the Scoreboard. They're all in the same parking lot,
Hmm.
and but anyway, full circle moment. This past December, I got on the flyer. I was on the flyer and on the same stage with Parker Diffie, Tyler Farr, and Jesse wasn't there, but a few other guys, and they were all the same guys that I met in that parking lot from standing in the parking lot.
No, no shit.
Yeah, so I wound up playing the same stage with them. Another guy that I would love to work with, and it's only because he's been there since day one. Frank Foster. Man,
I don't know if I know who that is.
He's got a song called "Good Old Girl," but he's more of like your maybe kind of outlaw country and kind of outlaw and modern mixed together. But he pulled his tour bus up one day and he's like, "Hey man." About 6 months later, I come back and he's like, "Man, you still here?" And everything. And so I gave him some of my merch and stuff. And I haven't seen Frank in a long time, but it'd be cool to meet back up with him.
Heck yeah. I'll have to look him up because I'm terrible with names, so I'm
Oh,
better with
you're good.
faces. So now, speaking of us having similar things in common, and I'm afraid of heights. Well, if you all follow John, you'll notice that he had put up a reel of some sort the other day,
Yeah.
kind of talking about his fear of heights. And for the first time in his life, he actually had got his ass on a Ferris wheel, which I
Yeah.
tip my hat to you, brother, because I'd have shit my pants if I'd have been sitting where you were. I don't know
Dude,
if I could have done it.
I'm telling you. I
But
was,
tell the story on how that came. Well, first of all, why are you afraid of heights? And then how did it come about to where you finally ended up facing your fear and ended up on a Ferris wheel?
to be honest with you, man, I don't know why. Like, what made me scared of heights? Like I'm clumsy, so I fall a lot. Well, not like every day, but when I fall, like it hurts, you know. But
Right.
anyway, I guess that's maybe why. I'm not sure, but I I was in Myrtle Beach over by the Sky Wheel, and I went into Land Shark. It's like right beside it,
Hmm.
and I went to Land Shark over Myrtle Beach, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get one of these drinks. You ever go there, try the 5 o'clock somewhere? You don't need but one.
No
But
shit.
yeah, but yeah, I drank one of those. They're they're pretty good. So I drank one of those and I was like, you know what? I'm fit to get on this Ferris wheel. I was like, we're gonna so I get on there, man. And just as soon as I get sit down, I'm like, the guy's like, it's like in this little shuttle and the doors are still open and you're talking to the guy that's running it. And I was like, hey man, how how many loops does it go around? About four. I was like, is it fast? Not really. And I'm like, oh man. So we go in there and go in there and the doors close. He hits the button and it starts going. And man, I swear I'm not even 5 foot up in there. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. And so like I'm sitting there and that thing's just rocking back and forth. And I'm like, I'm sweating, man. I'm like freaking out. But when I got about halfway up, I was like, you know what? If I fall from here, I can't change it. There's nothing that I can do. I'm
No,
just
you're
dead.
fucked.
I'm a dead guy. So might as well just ride it while I'm still alive. And dude, it was pretty cool.
So a little bit of liquid courage, everybody.
Yeah.
That's what got him on there was liquid courage. And
Yeah.
now did you start videoing? Did you start videoing? I remember seeing it, but I can't remember. Did you start once you were on? So did you kind of use the camera as your distraction, so you weren't really focused on exactly how high up you were, or
I,
did you just? How did that come about? What made you decide to video it? Just because it was it was your first time?
well, I didn't. So when I got in there, I had to go around it like at least once before I started making videos because I was like
Hmm.
sweating and everything. I was making these Snapchats and I think I got some of them saved. I had to send them to you, but I was sending them over to like I was going on Snapchat and I was taking these videos. I was like, I love y'all with all my heart, but I'm doing something. I was like, if I fall, just know. But but anyway, we had to come. I had to come around at least one time, like one loop before I was like, okay, we're good now. So yeah, so I was like, man, this is something to make a video about.
Now it's funny. I'm scared to death of heights, but and like Ferris wheels, my pussy ass couldn't do it. I wouldn't have been able
Yeah,
to do it.
what
But
helped
yet,
me out?
but yet, I can get on a roller coaster, and I can ride a roller coaster and do loops, and I'm okay.
Oh no, you
I,
had to shoot me.
I don't I don't know if it's the harness, you're clicking in and you got that extra, you feel like that extra added protection, I guess, per se. Whereas when you were sitting with what you were doing, I mean, that thing holds like what do you think? Probably 8 people.
Yeah,
But it potentially, and there's no seat belts. I mean, granted, that one's at least walled in. That
yeah,
would help. That would have helped a little bit, maybe. That you give a little bit of a false sense of security. But like you say, if that basket decides to just go bing and it's done, you're done.
yeah,
There ain't gonna
yeah,
be no take backsies, you know.
yeah.
But I saw that video and I had to chuckle a little because I am and I used to not be afraid of heights. The reason I'm afraid of heights is I fell off my house. So I had a roofer come to inspect the roof. I was getting ready to have a new roof put on my house, and at that time my kids were still little, and I had food. I forgot the guy was coming, so I had food on the stove, and I was like, "Shit, I got to get this guy on there." Well, the dude he's kind of a large lad, and I knew that I was like, I don't think he can get on the roof the same ladder I used to get on my roof because I was so little and wiry. So I was like, man, I better get my different ladder. So I got this extension ladder that I had just bought that folded. It folded. It was like 18 feet, but you could fold it into tripod or, like scaffolding or whatever. It
Yeah.
had like all these different clicks. I'd never used it. So I'm looking at it and I see this black boot. And I was like, well, my dad's extension ladder, so the black boot goes on the bottom. So I put it down. I held the ladder for the guy. He goes up on the roof. I said, I'll be right back to show you some more repairs I had done before. And I said, I'll be right back. Let me get the kids situated. So I run in the house. I fucking put the dogs up, shut the food off on the stove, slop some on a plate for the kids, get them fed. I run out and I take off up this ladder to go show this guy what I had done. And when I get all the way to the top, I go to step onto the roof. And when I shifted, I had the ladder upside down and the whole fucking thing went. And so did I. So I fell and landed on my deck. So, and that's deck with a DECK, just to make sure everybody understands that. But it was fun until that sudden stop at the end. That really sucked. But
Yeah.
But after that, it completely changed my perspective. But after I looked at that ladder, after I got out of the hospital from falling off a house, it come to find out that one didn't have the rubberized boots like a lot of the extension ladders did. That the black on that was a cap so you didn't fuck your vinyl siding up. So it was actually smooth.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't look at it. So I screwed the pooch big time. That's why I'm scared of heights.
Was you hurt pretty bad?
Not too bad. I mean, I had a tail like a Rottweiler for probably 2 weeks. Like it stuck out. I landed right on my tailbone, and I thought I broke some shit. And but apparently I didn't. But apparently I did do at least enough damage to where my body had to learn to compensate. So now I've got my pelvis is slightly off kilter from where I've compensated for it for so long. And that's starting to cause a little bit of issues now with, standing for prolonged periods of time and shit like that. But it is what it is,
Right.
But that's why I'm afraid of heights. And so when you were in that thing, especially you showed the shot, you're going up and you pan over and you said, look at this, because you were, I mean, I'd have been proud of myself too. But as soon as I saw where you were in that shot, I went, nope. I was like, man, nope. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I fucking feel you right there, my brother. I feel you. So typically then, like, let's move on to let's actually move on to what some really cool things that I found out about you. Number one, he's been nominated for a bunch of awards with our award show through Pamela Little's Southern Lights Entertainment, which I'm going to touch on in just a minute with that. But prior to our award show, John here has also been nominated for what was it? Was it the Mississippi? Let's see what my notes say. Was it the Mississippi Award Show? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in Mississippi. So where in Mississippi was this award show, and what were you nominated for with them?
So they had the award show in Natchez, Mississippi, and I got nominated for Best Rising Star of the Year, Song of the Year, Duet of the Year, Best Song of the Year, and there was another one. Oh, Outlaw Song of the Year.
No shit.
Yeah, and so I did not win any of those. There was kind of some discommunication there, because I thought that it was all ran by like judges. I thought judges were the ones. I didn't know till after the fact that you could have people to come vote for you. And man, I probably see 1,000 people a week, and like that
Shit.
yeah. And so like I feel like I could have had people vote, and of course I've got a bigger support system now than I ever have, and so yeah. But you win some, you lose some. So.
Well, that's at least you were nominated. Now, in this area of Mississippi, is that near your hometown of where you grew up?
No. So Natchez is kind of like it's kind of around the Delta area, Natchez, Mississippi. But where I'm originally from is Northeast Mississippi, not far from the Tennessee line. I'm actually the birthplace of Elvis is Tupelo, Mississippi, and that's about 5 miles from where I grew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you grow up in the city, in kind of I should say a city, a small town, or like on a farm? Like, how was your upbringing when you were younger?
I grew up in a town full of 650 people.
Woo! Man, it was crowded.
Yeah. It was definitely the holler. Like I grew up there, and I tell people all the time now 649 because I don't live here anymore. But no, it's a small town. It's home, a bunch of back roads, a lot of hollers. As a matter of fact, mostly back roads. And right behind, so when I was a kid, we lived down a hill in a double wide trailer, and I could walk out in the woods probably about a mile, and I'd go out in the woods, and I used to sit at the edge of the woods and look out through all the side farm fields and all the bean fields.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
But boy, your life's in a different place now, isn't it, brother?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You look back, I was a welder for 10 years. Before that, I worked in the sawmill.
I bet that was interesting.
Absolutely, and hot.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah. That sawmill job was when I was working in the sawmill. I weighed I was about 187 pounds soaking wet the whole time. But I was pretty built too, because what I did was I took all the big planks, and I would cut the planks up, and then kind of send them on down the line. But yeah, it was a job for sure.
Dude, that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
That would definitely be interesting. Yeah, like how big was your saw that you had to man when you were in that sawmill?
I had a hydraulic saw, so it was probably the blade was kind of like yay wide, and then probably about yay tall, and so I would have to take these planks off the bunk, and I had to throw them down on these rollers, and I'd have to push it up and cut the ends off, and then push it up to a stop, and I would have these stops kind of sit along down this rail, and then whatever size, I'd have to push it up to that stop and then step on it, and then it cuts it, and then I just set it on the table.
Oh, no shit. So that's how that works. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting. So you can do multiple different lengths. You just choose a different stop, and
exactly.
that's the length of board that you're going to get.
Right. And
That's
so,
fucking cool. I
and
didn't
then
know that.
yeah, so they take those off, and then they take those planks off, and then they give them to another person that runs it's called a gang rip saw. So it makes like 2 inches wide cuts or whatever, so they can use them for furniture. So you just
Oh, no shit.
run them through the saw, and then you got like 8 pieces of like 2-inch
Huh.
sticks. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Now, was that a big operation? Like,
Not
or did
really.
they have like a staff of like 20 people?
Oh, we had a staff of 5 people.
Oh,
Um,
so damn. So it was kind of a smaller I mean, I'm sure it was a large building, but a small operation.
yeah, well, it
That's
was a small building too. It was actually it was in this little shed, and we had somebody that run the gang rip saw. I ran the chop saw. We had somebody running the band saw. We had a forklift driver, and then we had our boss. It was only 5 of us.
no shit.
Yeah, yeah, and man, it was always hot, and I think I made $8 an hour.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
spend it all in one place. Now, when you
yeah.
were pipe fitting, were you part of a union or were you not? Were
Oh,
non-union shop?
I wasn't pipe fitting. I was a welder.
Or so you're welder.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I welded. So I started off welding bush hogs. I went from welding bush hogs to I had went and got another job. I actually welded parts for the big Tiffin motorhomes and like the big motorhomes and stuff, like the Legras and stuff like that. And then I welded parts for those. And then I ended my welding career welding chassis that loaded bombs in the fighter jets.
Oh, no shit. Now, was that
Yeah.
a governmental job
Um.
or was it just like a
Semi-
subcontracted job?
yeah, it was kind of subcontracted. But we had to have like certain certifications. Like they
Mhm.
had to have like our cert card every time that we went to go, start on a job and everything like that, and our ID and stuff like that. So it was pretty by the book, you know.
Hell
So
yeah. Well, Wolf Bear just joined in. She says hi, and she's
hey,
one that I sometimes do podcasts with. We kind of help each other, but she's got something going on today, so she's that's obviously more important. So I hope it all goes well with her. We had Scott Braley in. I don't know if you know who Scott is, but if not, Scott used to be a manager for some different bands, but now he kind of does more of like promotion stuff. So you've got a promoter in here that actually sees you. He's actually from the Maine area. So if you ever get
okay,
up north around the Maine area, you never know. You may end up meeting or seeing Scott because he's a really cool dude and
nice.
very supportive of pretty much anything I've done so far. He drops in and says hi, and he knows some people on the West Coast like Mike Clacy, and then he knows people all the way obviously to the East Coast where he's at. So,
Right.
so he's definitely there. Oh, Wolf's telling me about something else here. So back to the award thing. So obviously he was nominated for quite a bit of things in Mississippi, but for us, fortunately, for us at the Southern Lights Entertainment Award Show, John is also nominated for a lot of stuff. So if you don't know much about the Southern Lights Entertainment, please go to www.southernlightsentertainment.com. When you go on there, you'll see the website of Miss Pamela Little's booking agency, and then you can scroll through the different tabs. If you scroll through the tabs of nominations or voting, you will see people such as John Major here, along with others who have been nominated for various awards. John, we'll start off with him today's. The first thing that he's nominated for was the Solo Male Artist of the Year. So that's a big one, and that's really cool. He's also up for Songwriter of the Year for his song that he wrote, which was called Backwoods Outlaw. And he's up for Song of the Year, which is also the same. So tell us a little bit about your Backwoods Outlaw song. Like, how did you come about making that? Is there a story behind it that's personal to you? Is it just something that came to you that's just a story that came into your head that just you just thought was cool? Like, how did that song come to fruition?
Well, to be honest with you, man, I've written over 3,000 songs my whole life,
Yeah,
and when I wanted to be able to make a song that was my intro to the people. I wanted to introduce myself to the world with the song. I wanted people to know me, and how why I'm here, what I'm doing, and stuff like that. And so I was at work in the welding shop, and I was sitting there. And mind you, I've never wrote a song down on paper. Most time it's recordings, and I still have some of my old recordings. I did some recordings, and anyway, I'm just sitting there, and I was like, what if we could just have this like this rocking song or whatever? And the first thing, when I was in the middle of welding, like probably in the middle of a weld itself, but I was like, what would you tell somebody right now? How would you introduce yourself? And I was like, you know what? I was born and raised on a little back road on the side of Tupelo. And so we just kind of went on from there. And then it said way on down back in the holler where the meth heads wouldn't go. because we in if you've ever been in Northeast Mississippi, or been to Morreville, if you ever go to Morreville, there's two sides to Morreville. You have Tater Hills, and that ain't nothing but a bunch of old single wide trailers that's been blew up. And then you have another side of the road, which is just the countryside. Like it never really had a nickname, but it's where all the sod farms and stuff like that, where all the farmers and like just old country folks are. I mean, people. What I'd say is people that tend to themselves.
Right.
And but yeah, and there was two sides of that road, and yeah, it was wild.
I was trying to bring you in focus, but apparently I'm a little bit blurred right now.
Oh, you're good.
So, well, that's cool. Now, you're also up for Rising Star of the Year as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's up, ladies and gentlemen, he's up for a lot. He's got a lot of different awards. But I mean, I've heard so much good stuff about you too from people, like I say, all the way even to the West Coast. So John is definitely well known. The sacrifice he's currently making, as you can see again, that he's in his Sprinter van by himself, and he is doing it. He is driving around making shit happen. He is the poster child of exactly what trials and tribulations you have to go through to get to the other side. And right now, man, you're trucking along hardcore, brother. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's it's something that I've always wanted to do, and just going and like a lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of this doing this in itself is all based out on faith. There's a lot of stuff you don't know, man. Like you don't know if you're going to be driving down, 4 hours to get to your next show and then cancel on you.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
A lot of, you don't know, if you could be out in the middle of nowhere and you could have a wreck and nobody ever find you. There's
No shit.
there's a lot of stuff that plays in your mind when you're doing this, but it's for the love of music. It's for the love of it's having the drive enough to to want to be able to shift the world. Um, I don't. I'm a pretty religious guy. I'm pretty good in my faith and stuff. I don't always do. I'm not perfect, and I do things that I probably shouldn't. But I was actually praying this morning, and like I said, it's been hard. It's been a hell of a ride. But my biggest prayer that I had this morning was, in the Bible. It says if you have enough faith as small of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I said, I have enough faith as big as the mountain, so let's shake the world.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's my thing. It's having that vision, and no matter what, you can, no matter what that vision is, just go for it, because um, it's like playing the lottery. If you go in the store and you buy a lottery ticket, it's a very slim chance that you're going to hit $200 million, but it's a
Right.
100% chance you don't win if you don't play.
Yep. Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Amen to that. That is very true. Now, have you thought, obviously it's got to be some trials and tribulations to being alone too. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure it gets a little bit lonely on the road, obviously. Um, do you like being a solo artist completely, or do you kind of wish or maybe have plans in the future to eventually kind of adopt a band and start running around with a little bit more people with you when you're doing your travels?
Well, like, to be honest with you, man, like, when I think about having a full band, like, it'd be great. Like, we would make a lot more money, and it'd be solid. But the only thing is, man, it's so hard nowadays trying to find you have to, by finding people that want it just as bad as you do. And
Yeah.
not downing anybody or anything like that, but like, nowadays, people got kids, or they got family, or they got a girlfriend that's breaking their heart, or they've got issues back at home. A lot of times people just don't. And the guys that are really serious, and the guys that are doing it, well, um they're either with the band already, or it's just, you know um um I was actually thinking about that. I kind of want to wait till I got a deal to where I have a full band, because then I can breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, like, I have a hard enough time babysitting myself, much
Yeah.
less me and four or five other people. Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
I feel you. Well, and like I had Mark Hare on. I was on with Wolf when we did him. I don't know if you know Mark, but he's an up and comer that is out of Pennsylvania, and he kind of said the same thing. He kind of said that it's the hard part for him right now is the more people you have in the band, the more mouths you got to feed too, and trying to get shows and whatnot. It's kind of challenging. I think we lost John. Let's see if John can make it back. If I have to, John, if I don't see you in a second, brother, I'll remove you and then resend it, because apparently we just had a connection issue. And but that's the joys of live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. So John did get dropped. I am going to remove him from the studio and send him back an invite, and we'll see if we can get him back in. So you got to love technology when it's good when it works. I don't know if John knows that you can use the same link, so I'm going to send it to him again. Yeah, he does. Beautiful.
That, man.
There we go. No, you're good. I'm glad you realized you could use the same link, because I forgot to tell you. So
No,
Um, so that's better. Actually, you're clear now. I could probably, yeah,
Yeah,
now I can
yeah,
bring you to a bigger screen and I can see
yeah,
you. Um, so, and that makes a lot of sense, because it is more mouths to feed. I'll tell you what, the frustrating thing for me, and granted, I'm new to this industry, so I'm learning.
yeah.
Um, like I told you before, I have one artist which James Luker, that I'm managing, and then of course just do the podcasting stuff. But the hard part I'm having trying to help. That's why we got Pam. That ought to help make things easier, because somebody who actually has some knowledge. Booking, I fucking hate it. I hate it. And I'm not all that good at it. Now, the problem we had, which you don't have this much of a problem when you're a solo artist, um, maybe a little bit, but not as much, obviously, was the fact that I had to turn down so many gigs because we didn't have our own sound at the time. And I was blown away with how many venues just don't really have their own sound. Um, so I had to turn away like 15 gigs because I was like, they're like, well, you have to have your own sound. We don't have that. And I was like, well, fuck, we don't have everything we need. We don't have PAs and soundboards. So we've been working on getting that, because you got to have certain shit when you have a 3-piece or a bigger band. You got to have certain stuff, and without that, you're losing gigs. Now, with you, in regards to you, do you do strictly acoustic gigs, or do you also do like some electric style gigs? I know obviously it's just you, so either way, you're either playing acoustically or it's just you with I guess, do you have an acoustic guitar that's acoustic electric, or are you just all acoustic? What kind of gear do you have?
I have an acoustic electric guitar.
Mhm.
What I do is I have I've got a 1300 watt SRM or SMR. It's like a line array system. It's kind of like the Bose system. It's like this big speaker, and then you have a tower. Then you put your tower speakers up there.
Mhm.
Um, I've had that for about 3 years. I'm never always playing acoustic. That's what I've always used. Um, as far as like my sound, I always tell them, I got my sound. But it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty loud. And then I have a wireless headset microphone and a wireless guitar, so I'm all over the place when I'm playing. Like I try to bring the most entertainment that I could possibly bring, and try to bring the most quality that I can possibly bring. Um, it's funny because when I first started, I had a microphone, standing microphone, and I had a 40-watt Fender acoustic amp that was probably about this tall and
No
about
shit.
this wide. And I did my first 57 shows uh, doing that with that speaker.
Isn't
And
that like the amp that generally comes with your guitars when you fucking buy them? Something
yeah,
that
yeah,
small?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Holy. And you did
yeah,
50 something shows with that.
yeah. 57 shows with that crunk all the way up. And
That
man, you could barely
that's
hear it. I mean, like it, but I mean, I pushed through, power through, and then I started getting on the radio in my hometown, and I went up to this country club, and I was like, look, man, I really need a sponsor. I was like, I really need some gear, and I was like, yeah, we'll help you out. And so when they did, they helped me out, and I got one of those speakers, and I've been using it ever since. I'm gonna need a new one pretty soon. So if there's any sponsors out there, I'll put your sticker on my Sprinter van. We'll go around the country.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So there,
Yeah,
if you want to be like a NASCAR decal on the side of a Sprinter van to help out John Major, then just reach out to John Major on Facebook. And I'm sure he'll go through all the other links here shortly on where you can find John, where you can listen to his music and what all that good jazz. So we will definitely get to
yeah,
that. So who knows? Yeah, because I tell you what, having a sponsor would be nice. I mean, It's something. Now, your Sprinter van, do you have like I guess like storage like underneath where you don't have to keep it inside with you, or does everything have to live behind you in your
Well,
van?
so I've built a bed. I've built a bed in the back, and then I put all my gear up under that bed. Like
Did
I've
you?
got, yeah, it's a full size bed. I've got enough room for a couch right now. I could probably put a refrigerator in here. It's a lot of room. A lot more than what the creeper van had, but yeah, I've got a ton of room back here.
That's cool as shit. I was watching some video, which I don't know if you could do it in yours, but I thought it was really interesting. It was a kind of like a Sprinter Vanish kind of thing. But the way the people did it is they had their bed to where it was four pointed on some type of pulley system to where they could hit a switch and it would raise the bed up to the ceiling so where it would
Oh wow.
stay all the way to the top when you weren't using it. And then when you needed it, it would drop down, and it would drop down like the way they had it set up. There was like certain tables and stuff there that I guess were stationary to where it would sit. So those kind of became the support system for the bed. And then you laid in there, you slept, and then when you were done, you just fucking rose it back up to the ceiling. It was out of the way. I thought it was kind of neat. But
Oh
the
yeah.
Sprinter vans are definitely nice for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
But do you think that you may be able to make the award show in Oak Ridge, Tennessee in November 14th, or is that pretty much got to be played by ear based on your whole
Yeah.
travel disposition?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play it by ear. I'm gonna try to make it up there the best way that I can. Right now, and back to what you said earlier about the booking was so hard, man. I'm telling you, like I'm, I've, I've, I've got this one woman. I think that I'm going to try to train her on how to do the booking and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
try to get some help and everything else. But I mean, it's a headache because
Yeah.
a lot of people ask me, well, I was like, why don't you post as much? Why don't you post as much? Well, the thing is, it's not I'm intentionally going dark or anything. It's just like when I've been in this van and I have started booking from 11 o'clock in the morning and stopped at 11:43 at night and only had like one show booked. Like
Yeah.
and like and that's that's kind of that what takes most of my time.
Yeah.
And so but I'm gonna try to get it all together.
Yeah. Well, and I feel for you there. Definitely
Yeah.
feel for you because I tell you,
Yeah.
another frustrating thing to me is too that I've noticed it's becoming a trend, and I don't know if it's just due to the economy currently or what, but it's I've noticed that a lot of these venues they just don't want to pay the artists hardly nothing anymore. I mean, it's like they expect you to bring your sound, and it's almost like I'm sure they don't care, but
Right.
it's like you don't really realize how much money you would have to spend to, especially like say you're a full band. Well,
Yep.
you're talking at least probably $4,000 or $5,000 just to get enough sound to do the job,
Yep.
and it still ain't big enough to do like it still wouldn't be enough to do like really big venues. I mean, you're talking that's enough to do like small venues.
Right.
So, it's hard. It's hard to come up with that kind of money until you're doing like what you're doing and you're driving. I mean, the good thing about what you do is you're constantly on the move. So you can go to all these different little venues and hit them as you're traveling through, which is
Yeah.
nice. But it's rough when you're trying to book a band and it's just one show. And if it's 6 hours away, it's like they don't want to pay you. It's like, well, I gotta charge you more. I gotta have a place to stay, and because
Right.
we don't have like vans or anything like that. And fucking tour buses are crazy
Yeah.
expensive. And I mean, hell, that's a huge expense. I was trying to look into that years ago for one of the bands I was with just to get an idea of what it would cost, and I was blown away
It's
with
like 7 to 18
the
grand.
expense. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nuts, brother. It's nuts. Well,
yeah,
just like John was telling me this, and he'll verify this. Um, you know, like this young man is in his Sprinter van. Well, currently he does not have a generator. So if there's
right.
any generator companies out there that want to maybe do a good cause and sponsor him or throw him a generator his way to help him out, something small in the wintertime when John's in that van and he has to leave it running to stay warm so he don't freeze to death. So you're talking about he roughly spends roughly around, I think you said it was around $20 a night in fuel
Yeah,
costs
yeah,
just to stay warm while he's in his van. So a generator obviously would probably save him at least something. Might be a little bit better on the expense, and but that just shows kind of what this young man's going through. I mean,
right.
he's doing whatever he's got to do to make it happen. So I got to tip my hat to you on that. Now this picture here, obviously that is like an album cover right there. That's a great photo. Um,
Thanks, man.
Tell us a little bit of story about what's going on in this photo and what propelled you to kind of create that, and do you use this one the most on like your concert flyers, or is
I
this
do.
one more special for another reason?
So that shirt right there, that shirt right there is my welding shirt.
Oh, no
And
shit.
that, yeah. And so that's actually over at my sister's house. That's a K10, that's a 87 K10 Chevrolet. And that is my nephew's. And we kind of we they have a pool out there, not like a swimming pool, but they have like a little pond out there, and we
Hmm.
put we parked the truck right there, right in front of the little pond out there, and everything. So yeah,
Now, is this the guitar that you still currently use for your gigs?
it's definitely been a workhorse, man. That's what I use. um it's been through a lot, as you can see. But I still have, I got a few more scratches and dings on it, but it's been with me through thick and thin.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes me. I love the coloration too. I love how that's got that little sunburst right in the center, but it's all black around it. It just looks so neat. It's really
yeah,
nice. I love the fretboard on it too. I can't quite tell what it is, but if it's like little diamonds or what on the fretboard, but I
yeah,
like it, man. That's a beautiful piece.
yeah. That's a Epiphone EJ 200.
Now, how long have you had that?
I've had that for about going on 6 years.
No shit.
Yeah,
But yeah, that truck behind you. There's also a picture on his Facebook where he's sitting in the truck. But I tell you what, that's a nice old ride right there.
oh yeah, yeah.
That'd
She's
be a,
tough.
that'd be a good one to have right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't take it to work as high as gas is now, but it's
Oh my
it's
God.
it's
You ain't
sharp.
you ain't wrong there, brother.
Yeah, I just passed. Um, I passed one gas station. It's $4.09 now.
God damn. Now,
Yeah,
how do you do on your Sprinter van? How does it do on gas mileage?
pretty good. Better than the old van. The old van got 11 miles to the gallon, and this one it's 23, but it's diesel. So I mean, I pretty much spend the same. Like it's $100, and it's $100. Well, that's not dead on me. It's probably about $120 to fill up.
No shit.
Yeah. So each time. And I mean, even like back to what you were saying earlier about, trying to find somewhere that pays and stuff, that I guess that's one of my biggest pet peeves when people are like, you want to come play for free? I'm like, have you seen
No.
decent prices right now?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like,
yeah, yeah,
and you know damn good way they're making a killing. especially if
Yeah.
they serve alcohol. They're gonna. I mean, they're making a killing off that shit. So it's
Exactly.
sometimes I think there's a little bit of little bit of greed. Now, some places I get it. Some really small
Yeah.
mom and pop bars that are really tiny, they may be struggling to compete with some of the bigger conglomerates, and I get that.
Right.
But you got to pay. It's like nobody should play for free because everything you're doing. I mean, think of all the work that you do because you're doing it all. You're wearing every hat
Yeah.
right now currently.
Right.
So, and I don't see how anybody can do it like you're doing it, but you are. But I mean, that's got to be, I mean, that's a full time, that's a nonstop job to make it happen.
It
So
is.
I got to tip my hat to you because
Thanks. Man.
it's pretty impressive what you're doing thus far.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
any shows coming up here in the immediate future? I know you're in Richmond, Kentucky, excuse me, currently,
Right.
and you are going to be trying to put together some stuff in this proximity. But
Right.
anything that you currently have on the books that you know of that you want to share, or
I do.
upcoming shows, big festivals, anything like that that you may be attached to?
I've got a really big show in Fredericksburg, Virginia, May the 7th. That's gonna be really big. Um, September the 11th. That's a day after my birthday. Is gonna I'm gonna be playing in Panama City Beach, Florida. Um, and then
When was that again?
September the 11th.
September the 11th. Nice.
Yeah, so I'll be playing down there, and I've got some more that I'm gonna be posting online and stuff like that pretty soon.
Well, that'll be really really interesting and stuff to have all that
Yeah,
take place. So
appreciate
congratulations on
it.
those big shows. And like the hard part for us is this year was, festivals like, festivals book up quick. So almost pretty much everything was already booked for 2026. So it's like now, if you're wanting to take part in festivals, I mean, you got to prepare to be a year or two out. So
Yeah,
to be considered. So, and that's a long wait, especially when you're doing it as a full-time job, like what you are. Now that's your bread and butter. So
yeah,
that's crazy, So I can see why you're doing a lot of travel,
yeah.
which is a good thing, you know. Um, I know. Any thoughts of you headed back out to? Have you ever been on the West Coast? Like, have you done California and stuff like that?
I've never done West. I've never done California. I'm thinking about it this year about going around
Mhm.
Reading. I have some.
I think you just froze up. Hopefully, we didn't lose him. We'll see what happens, guys and gals. He just locked up again. It's probably just where he's at. But yeah, I imagine when he goes, he's talking about he may hit the West Coast. He would like to hit that soon, and I'm sure he knows Mike Clacy. So if you get out to the West Coast, it'd be nice to go up to um, Oregon and Washington and do some gigs. But yeah, I think we may have lost John again. I don't know. We'll see. It still froze up. We'll see what happens here. Give it a second. If not, he can back out and come back in. I don't know why we're having troubles today, but we are. Yeah, we lost him. He'll be back. He'll be back here in just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Um, but anyway, until he gets back, just want to let you know we definitely got a lot. Wolf and I both have a lot of people that we're going to be still got to go through. So there's a lot of bands. If you're hearing me talk, and I have not got back to you, I'm trying to not forget and trying to knock it out. But I've got a lot of people to call, and I need to probably sometime this week or next week start doing calendar to where I go ahead and start mapping this out because we've definitely got a lot of people. Anybody who's hearing me that has not been reached out by me, um, if you would like to be interviewed, and it doesn't matter, everyone knows I do music side of things, one day a week. Everyone knows that. Let me resend him an invite again. in case that link is problematic. Um, but anyway, the everyone also knows that I am doing the special needs podcasting as well. Um, I have not forgotten about the special needs thing. I know I don't do as many of them as I do the music side of things. I'm kind of taking that one slow because there's, like I've said before, there's a little bit more red tape when you're dealing with the special needs community. So it's not as easy to set up shows as it is, like, for instance, with John here, which hopefully I can get him back in. Um, it's not as easy dealing with uh, the special needs community. There's more red tape that you got to walk through. You definitely want to talk to family more and stuff because that's just a different animal. But I've done 2 episodes thus far. So if you're interested in seeing special needs people, I wanted to give them a platform on my podcast to talk and brag about themselves. Um, People who are not interested in hearing people with special needs talk about their lives, then they don't have to watch. But I don't really recall ever seeing anyone giving a platform for the special needs community, and I want to do that. So I think the special needs community, or we can learn a lot from people with special needs, whether it be Down syndrome, whether it be autism, TBI patients, fetal alcohol syndrome. I mean, there's the list of, CP, the list goes on and on. So, I had a near and dear friend when I was growing up who had cerebral palsy. And I tell you what, super, super intelligent. He got over his adversities. He went on to work for his family business, which was an engineering firm. And he ended up doing that and taking care of business for quite a while. There he is. And there we go. He's back.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just kind of broke off while I was getting you back talking about the different podcasts that I'm doing, and for anyone interested, that's whether it's a special needs community, because I don't know if I told you, but I do special needs podcasting too, because I've
Right.
never really thought of anybody that allowed them to talk and brag about their lives, and I just think it would be cool to give them that same experience that a lot of other people get.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I see you ejected from the driver's seat and you're now in
Yeah.
the back. I don't know. Can you pan your camera? Do you
Yeah.
feel comfortable showing your humble abode to everyone?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
I've never been inside a Sprinter van, but it looks to me like above you and stuff, there's all sorts of, looks like there's tons of things where you could actually secure in various, I guess, storage units, or it's
Yeah.
almost like they build it to where you can put shelving. And oh, I see what you did with your bed.
Yeah.
Dude, that turned out good, bro. And it's just a
Thanks,
regular
man.
wood frame you did, and then I
Yeah.
see how you've got all your space to put your gear underneath where it's out of sight, out of mind.
Right. And I still have room to put a couch right here and everything.
You sure the hell, yeah, you do got enough room. You could definitely put a college fridge in there.
Yeah.
So a generator would be something that would be kind of nice.
Yeah. And see, I have like places for like shells and stuff like that too.
So that's what them little, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool as shit. I've never been on the
Yeah.
inside of one.
Yeah.
I've always
That's where
heard
I
they were nice.
heck yeah. That's where I put like I just put like little stuff here and there and stuff for sure.
I mean, it works. Definitely works. And that's a big enough bed that,
Oh yeah.
that's definitely
Yeah.
a big enough bed where you got, I mean, it's not, it's a nice little setup. Now, do you ever get bothered? Did people bother you much when you're kind of pulled over? I mean, at the Love's truck stop, they're not going to fool with you, I would assume. But
I mean, not too much. I mean, like it does happen. Sometimes you like sometimes you'll have people knocking on your your window at 2:30 in the morning, which is usually the typical lock lizard or somebody, that's broke down, but not a whole lot. I've had one incident, and I was actually up here, or not up here, but I was actually sitting in my van, and this guy starts knocking on the door, and I was like, I was just kind of ignoring him. He opens up my passenger seat or my passenger door, and I
Oh,
run to the front. I was like, "Get out of here!" He's like, "Have you seen those purple frogs in the grass over there?"
oh, God
And
dang.
so I backed out, and I'm like freaking out. So I backed out. I locked the doors. I when he shut the door, and I backed out. And when I did, I was coming in where I was trying to go out where they were coming in. And I was like, because I wasn't thinking. And then this guy, as I was backing out to go around the right way, the guy grabs a squeegee and starts running towards my vehicle like this. And I'm like, what? So yeah, it was crazy.
So what do you end up doing? Running up there and then squeegeeing your windows?
Well, no, no. So I just left, and I looked at my phone for the next truck stop, and it was like 221 miles. I was like,
Holy
man.
shit.
So I like I'm not the kind of guy that calls the cops, but I had to sleep, So I called the law. I was like, look, man. I was like, there's not a Walmart around here. I'm a country artist. I said, I'm just trying to get some sleep. I said, I've got a show the next day. I said, and the next truck stop's 221 miles down the road. Well, anyway, they came up there and they transported him. So, but yeah, because he was already they had already had somebody called out. I guess he was trying to mess with somebody else too. But yeah, it was wild.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever stay in any of the rest areas like you know how the ones when you go into new states, you generally have rest areas all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever get to stay in those, or do they not really allow that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They do and it's cool. Like if you need somewhere to rest, if you need somewhere to sleep, that's perfect. The only thing is about the rest areas. Rest areas don't have showers, and so a lot of times, like when I get up the next morning, a lot of times, I either been driving all night, I had a show and been driving all night, and I usually won't get to the truck stop till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then when I actually get somewhere and get parked, I got to
Mhm,
get up the next morning and then take a shower and kind of
mhm,
get ready for the day. So it's not like, sometimes it's hard because like when you go to truck stops, and shout out to our truckers and stuff like that for what they do. But a lot of times, like if you go up, say I got a show at 7, if you're trying to get a shower at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, it ain't happening. I mean,
yeah.
3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not going to happen because like you've got all these truckers that are coming in, and they've got
Mhm,
showers too, and you've got a 2 hour wait. Well, you got a show at 7, and so like you're kind of cutting it close if you get a shower and get out by 6, and you got to be up there at 7. And then like my rule of thing is like when I go play somewhere, and this is just me. This is kind of what I've learned on the road. When I go somewhere to go play,
mhm.
I'm 3 hours early. It only takes me 10 minutes to set up, but I'm 3 hours early because what I do is I'll go in there and I'll go, I'll grab something to eat. I'll go grab a beer, and I'll hang out with the crowd. I'll get a feel for the crowd, and I'll just start talking to everybody like, hey, where y'all from? What do y'all like to do? And once you get to know these people, once you really get to know people and know their likes or dislikes, you don't have to ask them what they want to hear tonight. You already know. Like you talk to somebody and say they're a farmer, or
Mhm.
say they're a blue collar, say they're a welder, or a construction worker, or whatever. Like you kind of you get to know them and you get to know their vibe. And it even goes as crazy as this. So recently, Lord, please forgive me for what I'm about to say. I got I had a show in Augusta, Georgia, and they said, yeah. I said, you're gonna be playing up here uh, at the Masters. And I was like, what is the Masters? and
No shit.
yeah. So they told me, and I was just like, oh. So and that was a little nerve wracking because when I pulled in, dude, I usually don't I don't wear this shirt a whole lot, but a lot of times, like when I go somewhere, I usually have a nice vest, maybe a camo shirt under it or something like that. But I've got a black vest and everything, and that I'll wear. But dude, I was the only one in the house that didn't have a polo on. Like
No shit.
it was classy. Like everybody was pulling up in these nice black SUVs and everything else. And I mean, they look like they just got back from the Masters. So, but they look like they're at the Masters, you know. And so I went up there to go play, and I got there and I got to talking to some of these people, and I was like, oh, I was talking to this one lady, like she was a nurse. This one guy was a doctor. This other dude, that's what he did for a living. He played golf. And I was like, you like to fish? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we go all the time. I was like, you like to hunt? He's like, yeah. And so I was sitting there looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I started playing Hank Williams Jr. Country State of Mind, and he was all about it, man. He was
Yeah.
like he was in there, you know, or like and even someone to your like your newer school, like I was talking to a veterinarian one time, and she was like, yeah, I'm a country artist, and she was like, yeah, she's like, I really like Morgan Wallen. And I really like Hardy. Well, Hardy grew up 2 hours from where I grew up, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
That,
and
oh,
so
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, he grew up in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and I'm from Tupelo, or I'm from Morreville, right beside Tupelo. But
Hmm.
they used to have a water park where he lived, around where he lives, that we used to
Hmm.
go to all the time. And so when she was telling me all that, I was like, I'm gonna play her some Hardy, some old school Hardy. And then when I went in from that and then played some Morgan Wallen, oh, she was all about it. Like, you know, so I like to be the guy that knows it without them knowing that I know it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's see. Let's see. We covered all. Well, that's good. I covered my notes. Now, the one thing I was trying to do, and I have to learn how to do this, so you'll have to forgive me. Hopefully, I can eventually get this done. I was trying to find some like a video or something that you have done to display your music to people, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Every time I try to download it, see, I know how to achieve what I did with the pictures and stuff. I know how to do it
Yeah.
through my StreamYard. Through I'm on a Mac, so I have to do it through that Finder. Well, I have to put it in
Right.
downloads, and I can't seem to get the shit into downloads where I can pull it up and play it. So
I got you.
anytime I played music videos, people had sent me, and of course I didn't really have time to do that with you today, sadly.
That's all right.
But where can people find you, brother? Like what all platforms are you on to where they can find your music? What's the best source for them to start with so they can see what John Major is all about?
So you can go online right now and you can type on John Major and John Major Music, John with a H, Major like the general. And then so you type in John Major Music, and you can go on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. They're all under John Major Music. You can find me
Hmm.
on there. And then on Spotify, you can find me under John Major. You can't miss me. I'm the big dude with the guitar. And so but and I've never been the prime minister for Britain or coached the Tennessee Volunteers, never done that either. So but but anyway, yeah, I mean, you can find me out like that, and you can also find me on OnlyFans. But don't worry, they pay me to keep my clothes on.
So, d- d- uh, do they really allow that shit on OnlyFans? They do just like music too and stuff.
No, no.
Oh,
So
I was
here's
gonna. I do. That wouldn't surprise me because I'm old, so I'm dumb. I don't know, but I was
well,
just
trust
like,
me,
dude, that would be hilarious.
I was the same. Okay, so we have the same mindset here. I was sitting there thinking the exact same thing when OnlyFans first come out.
Hmm.
So and mind you, I was married at the time. And so I downloaded OnlyFans, and like I started sitting on this profile, and I was like playing music, and every about 6 months later, I was like, man, I can't catch no luck off this. Most of my biggest stuff right now is like on TikTok, Facebook, like that.
Hmm.
And my wife at the time, she asked me, she was like, "You have an OnlyFans?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "What do you put on there?" I was like, "Music." And
Music?
she's like, "Do you have your clothes on?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Why would I be naked?
Yeah. So yeah, so there is a I think there is still a OnlyFans out there swimming around, but yeah, I kind of took it down. Yeah,
That is hilarious. Now, do you
yeah,
now you say you're on TikTok. Obviously, TikTok is another very big platform right now. Um,
absolutely.
do you ever go live, do lives or anything on TikTok?
I do, and you know what? To be honest with you, I need to be. I 100% need to be more personal with my audience, with my fans and stuff like that. And like I said, it's hard sometimes. They just um, booking has my stuff. Like my attention most of the time now.
Mhm.
But yes, absolutely. Last couple times that I went live on TikTok, we had like 2 or 3 thousand people there, and it was cool. And like all I was doing was just sitting on this bed playing guitar, and like you know, every now and then, like I'll stop or I'll tell people why I wrote this song or whatever. And I'm telling you what, I've got enough songs to last me 10 years. Like I could literally put out an album every week for the next 10 years. Like
Yeah,
I've got
with that many songs that you've put out, I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of
yeah
music, bro. And that's a
yeah. I
lot of
mean
music to remember too. Golly. And that's
yeah,
not even counting covers because I'm sure you still probably incorporate some covers when you're doing your shows, correct? Or are you
absolutely.
strictly original?
No, I in a way I would love to see what it was like to have an original show. I would
Mhm,
I'd be all over that. But
mhm,
to be honest with you, what I do is and I have a little pattern I have in my head. And also another thing too, I never read from a phone. I never read from a tablet. I try to be as professional as I could possibly be, not knocking the people that have phones or tablets, but that's just in my act, in my performance, that's just something that I
that's
don't
just
do.
what you yeah, yeah.
And
Whereas me, I'd be like, I'd probably have one at least, if anything, over to the side where I could be like, my old dementiated ass be like, "Where was I at again? Oh, yeah, I know where I'm at, okay." You
yeah.
know, keep myself on course, so I feel you, but the dude and that's impressive to have that many songs, and you have to put that to memory, that's a lot. That's a whole lot, plus all the cover songs that you've done. Like, out of all the covers, what would be your favorite cover that you like to go to when you're doing your shows?
Help me hold on by Travis Tritt.
No shit.
That's probably my best
It's a
one.
great song.
And that song alone, like I was a big Travis Tritt fan. I mean, I still am, but I was a big Travis Tritt fan when I was a kid. When I first
Mhm,
started, there's a I don't even know if it's still around anymore, but there's an old VHS tape. When I was a little kid, I had like a little rat tail, and I was singing
mhm.
"Here's a Quarter," running around and everything. And um, I've always been a big fan of Travis Tritt, and you know, that song just is always hit me in the right time. And then so a
Mhm.
lot, so I've played it a lot, and then that's probably my best one. A lot of people ask me like, "What's your best cover song?" And when I play that one, it's pretty good. But
That is a really good one. That's a really
yeah,
good one. Now, do you ever do covers? Because I know this can be some artists may think it's tricky, some may not.
right.
Do you ever do cover songs that were originally performed and written by a female, but you have added your own kind of swing to it and brought it around and actually performed it as a cover on some of your shows?
Yes and no. I I haven't done that as much as probably what I should be doing. But there is a song by Dolly Parton and Porter Wagner. called Rocking Chair.
Oh,
And
wow, that's a good song. I haven't heard that in years.
so, like, the way that I play the song, the way that
Mhm,
I play that song, it's more the bluesy vibe. It's not and I'm a gold country fan through and through, but I just kind of put my own little spin on it. Um,
mhm,
I know it sounds crazy, but that was my mom and dad's song growing up. Or when I was growing up, that was their song, and so I
mhm.
played that song probably a million times, and I was like, "What if we play it like this?" And so I started kind of putting the A minor on it and everything else. So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah, that song, God, man, I have not heard that song. Yeah,
yeah,
it's been probably over 20 years since I've heard that song. It's been a long time.
yeah,
I might have to give that a listen again because that brings back nostalgic memories of me too. Because my parents, I grew up, they were definitely in the old country. You know, your
yeah.
Johnny Cashes and your Chris Christophersons and Whalens and Willie and all that good jazz.
Oh
And
yeah,
of course, my dad was all country, and then my mom, she loves country, but she got into some of the rock too. So
yeah,
she definitely loved the Beatles, like which I think every fucking woman on earth did back
yeah.
then.
Absolutely, yeah,
And same with Elvis. I think every woman loved Elvis and all that good jazz. But then she would do other stuff like the Carpenters and
yeah.
Jefferson
Absolutely,
Starship and stuff like that. And then of course the old 70s classics, your CCRs and all that
oh
good
yeah.
stuff too. But
100%.
now let's see, other than Travis Tritt, do you have any other influences that have really kind of been a huge part of what you're molding yourself into this
I'd
career?
I'd say Justin Moore. Like Justin Moore was definitely
Mhm.
one of the to me is like probably one of the most underrated country music artists there are. I mean, the guy's got 14 number ones. What I like about Justin Moore is small town. A lot of
Yeah.
people's like, yeah, I'm from a little town, but if you listen to his songs and you listen to the way that he just says stuff, he is a small town, and I feel like Justin Moore stands for a lot of people that are not heard a lot of the times. So cool story about that. When I was 20, 22, 23 years old, I
Mhm.
always wrote songs. I always like that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know. And people's always told me my whole life, like, oh, Nashville has songwriters, they got singers.
Yeah.
Nobody ever just goes out there and makes it. Well, like I had wrote this song, so Justin had this song called "Old Red Redneck Reason," with him and Charlie Daniels singing on the song. And so, thing is about Justin Moore, he has like when you listen to his songs, his outros are kind of long. Like we're talking 30, 40 second outros. So I was listening to that outro one night, and I wrote this little part. And so I went to Justin Moore's concert, Off the Beaten Path tour concert out in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I got at meet and greets. And so I got back there and I was like, I'm gonna do some of the craziest thing ever. And so I was going through the meet and greet. Everybody standing in line. We're talking about a mile long line.
Oh, I
We
bet.
got up to Justin Moore and I shook his cold hands. And I said, Justin, I said, look, man, I said, I'm a songwriter. I said, you know, I've, I've always wanted to do what you're doing. And I said, I've got this line that I wrote. And I said, I don't know if I'm good enough. And that he looks at me and he says, let's hear it. And I was like, and I said, well, I work 40 plus down at the local mill. I get my beer from the county line and my liquor from my moonshine still. You best believe on a Friday, well, I'm going to have me a few. And maybe I shouldn't get rowdy, but for some old redneck reason I do. And
So
he's like,
what did
man,
he say? Did he
dude,
like
he
it?
looks at me, he's like, man, I love that. And I was like, that pushed me, that opened a whole new door for me. I was like, I could actually do this, you know. And so, ironic as it is, I was out in the middle of Arkansas, out in Hot
Mhm.
Springs, Arkansas, and I was calling up everybody, and I was like, man, I got to get a show. Well, I called up this country club out, and it was right down the road. It's called Malvern in Malvern, Arkansas. And I was calling up everybody, and I was like, yeah. It's like, can I come play? And they were like, yeah. It's like, we'll give you, whatever. And I come up there, and they're giving me $400 to play for 3 hours. And I was like, okay, all right, so we'll do it. So I went out there, and went and started playing. And I was like, I just want to tell everybody, I was like, Justin, like I've always looked up to Justin Moore. It's just somebody I've looked up to my whole life. I said, check this song out. And I wrote this song for him. The whole room got real quiet. And I'm playing that song. They were like, I got done. They were like, hell yeah, that's badass, man. And they was like, did you know that Justin is a member of this country club? And
Oh, no shit.
I was like, no way. I was like, yeah. I was like, get the
What's
fuck
the
out of
odds of that?
dude. I was like, get out of here. And look, so check this out. They were showing me like pictures, like he brought like they. So Justin does a lot of stuff where like his daughter's school and stuff. He does a lot of stuff for like their baseball teams. He bought the school a lawnmower one time. Like he does a lot of stuff for the community. And so him
Mhm.
and his daughter were coming up there, and they were playing. They did a whole benefit for him, and every time that he has come to that country club, I have missed him every time for 2 years.
Oh, damn,
And
that
so
sucks.
I played up there for 2 years, and his hometown. Check this out. So his hometown is right beside Malvern, Arkansas, called Poen. And if you ever go to Poen, they have a statue of him or whatever, like kind of on a rock.
Oh,
And I
no
was sitting,
shit.
yeah. And so I went out there, and I remember one time I just got back from, it was Myrtle Beach, Virginia Beach, one of them ones. But anyway, I came up there, and I had played through, and I got there, and I was going to start playing, and and I'm sitting here with this beach shirt on, and it's raining, man, and I'm trying to make this video, like, he's always been a big part of my life, whatever, and I was going to make this video, and I stand inside of a fire ant bed, and I'm literally hopping around on one foot with a crock in my hand, slapping it as I'm sitting there, standing out there in front of the statue, and there's cars driving by and everything else. And I bet you people thought I was crazy, man. So yeah, but
So
no,
have
man.
you have you got a chance to meet him since?
You know what? And this is the ironic part. No, like
Damn.
I went to a thing called CRS. I've been the past 2 years. Actually, when I signed my first publishing deal, that's where they say I got discovered. And and everything. And I was just in Billboard magazine about my publishing deal and everything else. And but when I went up there, I met his manager. I know his manager and stuff, and I got some of his contacts and stuff like that. But I just want my biggest thing. I want just 30 minutes to talk to this guy. Like, dude, like he's the one that pushed me to come through this and everything else and do some of that most unthinkable stuff I could ever imagine. And like if and this is where the shift is. If Justin would have told me that day, well, that sounds like shit, or you need to do better than
Oh, that
that,
would have fucking wrecked you.
dude. I'd still be in the welding shop, man. Like
Yeah.
I would literally still be in the welding shop. But and it might have not have been the best, but like I was like just that little bit of hope that he gave me, you
Dude,
know,
that was awesome. That was a hell of a compliment.
dang, yeah, and like just that little bit of hope just pushed me, man. And then the late great Toby Keith said one time, he said, "You might be able to outsing me, you might be able to outwrite me, you may be able to outperform me, but you'll never be able to outwork me." And that's something that I live by every single day.
Well, and that. I mean, it's just look at your situation. Proof is in the pudding, right there, folks. I mean,
Yeah,
John's traveling around, making gigs as he goes, living in his Sprinter van for a month or two at a time before circling back and having a little bit of R&R at home in Nashville. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to tip your hat to you. So Justin Moore, if you're out there listening, which I know you're not because no one knows who the fuck Bones is, but if you're out there, if this gets to you, it gets to your desk, look up John.
Yeah.
You'll remember him. Fucking put him on one of your damn shows sometime and let this young man hang out with you. Let him rock the fucking show with you. At least one gig. Give him one gig.
Yeah,
So
man.
there it is. Justin won't see it and he'll be like, "Who the fuck's Bones? Fuck that old fucker."
Yeah.
But maybe you never know, brother. What if? Because if he gave you that compliment, I mean, just think how cool would that be to be put on even if it's just one arena show with him. You're
Yeah.
the opener. You could be the very first act. Who gives a shit? But you're there.
Yeah.
And you could do that one song that you added.
Yeah.
Maybe do one song with him, and him come out on stage and do like a little duet with you. That would be fucking cool as shit, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin Moore. And he seems like a cool dude. I mean, every interview I've ever seen, Justin Moore seems like a stand-up guy. Like he definitely, I totally can see what you mean by he's kind of the small town hero guy. Yeah, like he's that small town guy. And there's a lot to be said to me anyway about small town people, because generally these people are more down to earth. And that's what I love, like having you on. And I want to thank you for being on this show today. Thanks for taking time out of your day when you could be doing something else that's probably more productive. But thanks for giving me a chance to interview you, because I think a lot of these people too, the up and coming, I'm having so much fun doing up and comers because you all are so humble and so genuine. And I just love that. I mean, the people I've met so far, and you included, are just outstanding. So thanks you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me on this podcast, because this podcast it's got a long ways to go, but I'm having fun doing it. And so far it seems like we're making traction. So
Right. And I appreciate you having me, man. It's always fun to come on and hang out and everything else. And there's a lot of people out there that don't know my story. A lot of people think that I'm just some dude that just drives around the country and plays music. But
and there's a lot more to him than that.
But I'll tell you this much, and I tell people this all the time, and it wouldn't matter if I had $5 million in my bank account or I've got 5 cents. But it's kind of like this. I'm not this big, rich, fancy, famous guy. I'm not viral on TikTok every day. But in my hometown, like I'm somebody. I go to Tupelo sometimes, and I'll go eat, and I'll go see the family. I'll go see some of my friends, and I'll sit down at the bar. And that's where I hang out, because I got a lot of friends that hang out at the bar. And there's a place called Mugshots. And if you ever been to Tupelo, go to Mugshots. Probably one of the best hamburgers you ever had in your life. Crazy hamburgers too. They've got a peanut butter and jelly burger and a macaroni burger and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, when I go in there, and I sit down, I've had people stop me in the middle of, like, man, can I like, dude, you're blowing up, man. Can I get your autograph? Can we get pictures together? Can you tell my niece happy birthday? Can you call my little sister and or whatever? And or will you FaceTime my friend? And here's the thing, and I tell people this all the time. Somebody asked me, does that not bother you? And I'm like, these people, right? Those people, they're paying my bills.
Yeah.
And like, put yourself in their shoes. If Hank Williams Jr. or Morgan Wallen or Justin Moore, how would you expect for them to act? And I mean, like, yeah, we do this and everything. I play music, and yeah, I got I have stuff that I like to do, or whatever, and sometimes people have bubbles. I mean, everybody's got one, but the thing is that those guys are listening to my music. They're paying my bills. They're coming to my shows. And I mean, if I would be the guy to come to their house and just work on their fence if they needed help, I'm still the guy that's going to pull over on the side of the road if they're broke down and help them change a flat tire. Because
Yeah.
that's not only is it the right thing to do, but one of the biggest things that's probably one of the worst things about me. It's not bad, but whatever. But I try to see myself. I try to see the best in everybody. I try to put myself in their shoes, how they,
I do
and
too.
yeah, and people take advantage of that. But you know what? I've also learned too that not to let the bad apples affect your day, or affect the way you act towards other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of these days you might be in the same mood as they are, but you might need just as much as help as the next person.
Yeah. And
And
I
so
can get that. I mean, I could only fathom that it could get frustrating at times, I guess, because especially if you're just like you say, sometimes we're human. We're in an off mood and it's just like, oh, I really don't feel like talking to anybody today.
right,
But you sound very much like Billy Bob Thornton. And Billy Bob Thornton, I watched an interview with him one time, and they kind of asked a similar question. They were like, hey, how do you feel about people coming up? And he's like, uh, he goes, I love it. And they're like, well, don't you get tired of it? And he's like, yeah, but he said, but the big thing is these people put my kids through college. He's like, these people gave me the opportunity to do what I'm doing. He goes, I owe them everything. And he's
yeah,
right, because without him, I mean, he would be no different than anybody else. He would work a 9-to-5 job or whatever, and so it's cool that you got that humble abode about you, because you sound very similar, but you're gonna be something someday too. I mean, you've got a lot of talent, and that's why I tell people all the time. I said, man, these podcasts, it's cool because the up and comers, I get the opportunity to interview because most of them have enough time on their hands, or they're like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Why not be on this guy's no name fucking podcast? But my podcast, it may not ever become anything, but it could. But on the
yeah,
same token, I'm getting a chance to talk to you, and I'm helping you introduce you to people who may not know who you are. And you may be their next Toby Keith. You
yeah,
may be their next Travis Tritt. And, I mean, how cool would it to be once you do break free and you're so big, you're like, Bones who? It's like,
no,
it's like, but the cool thing is I can be like, yeah, I got to interview him when he was starting his propulsion up. And I got the opportunity to sit and talk to him for almost 2 hours now. And so I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to be able to speak to you. And I'm really blessed that you took time out of your day to give me a shout and give me a chance and to be on this show. And, hopefully as things grow, more and more exposure comes out of it. And the way I see it is if you pick up just one follower from this show, then that was a win. That's the way
absolutely,
I look at it. So,
yeah,
but very much love and respect to you, especially with the way you're doing it, man. I tell you what, it takes a lot of cojones to do what you're doing, especially doing it alone, um, and wearing all those hats. It's got to be exhausting. So,
it is.
if somebody does meet him, cut him some slack, because you know what, he's doing a lot of work to bring you good music. So everybody, please, if you're watching the podcast, or for those who will watch it in this upcoming future, um, please look at John, check out his stuff. He gave you links. You can find him on all sorts of different social media platforms. I'm assuming you're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that good jazz too.
I am.
So find him, give him a listen. Um, every listen you do benefits him, but also, again, you may find your next favorite guy. He may be looking you right in the face right now, and you don't even know it. So give him a chance, give him a follow, and give him likes. Those are things that I preach about all the time on here for people like John, for people like help, like me with this podcast, my guy like James Luker, Wolf Bear with her podcast. I always try to take all of us little people because everyone is little when they start. We're all little. And everybody's got to grow to make it big. And some people make it and some don't. And so far this is a fun journey, but for him, I want to see him make it. This is his livelihood. This is what he does. So give him
Right.
a like and give him a follow. It doesn't cost anything to follow somebody. I have that hard time getting people to hit that follow button, and it's just like, just go there and just give it a follow. What's it going to hurt? Give it a follow, give it a listen. You're helping the smaller people become known and be seen. And
Right.
so please do that for everybody, all of your artists. Go and give them some support. Anything you would like to add? Any other links? Anything else you would like to plug? It's maybe even plugging things that you may be in your head that haven't really become a reality yet that you want to kind of push, like say maybe an album or a single or an EP. Like what do you got in your up in that brain of yours that you haven't quite made into fruition yet, but that you're wanting to kind of pursue?
To be honest with you, man, with the economy and everything, everything's been a lot tighter than usual.
Hmm.
Um, I'm I'm waiting to record some music. I've got all the music in the world. It's just it costs money to record. But I've got some new music coming out, and if you even halfway liked the last project that I did, this new project is definitely gonna blow you out of the water. Um, but I would say this, as far as a person, as far as an artist, as far as a songwriter, I just bring that day to day life stories and maybe up and some songs even uplifting.
Hmm.
I don't say this enough, and I know it's kind of funny, but I never I could have dementia today, and I'll never forget Colt Ford because when when Waffle House first come out, I went through my first heartbreak. And I was like 17, 18 years old. And I heard Waffle House for the first time. And that is like one of very few songs that I've ever listened to where I was just like, I'm not even mad no more. Like I'm not even hurt no more. I listened to that song again and I'm like, I'm doing better now. And
No
that's
shit.
yeah, so
That's
that's the kind.
powerful. That's a
Yeah.
powerful song right there.
And so that's what I want to bring to the table, And I do also touch base on like mental health and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because I tell people all the time, anxiety, doubt, fear, worry, um, is a big issue right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't define who you are.
No. That
And
amen. Amen.
so,
Amen.
and so I've got that's kind of a plug for a new song that I've got that I'm going to be putting out too. It's called "Define Me," but it just pretty much talks about your day to day life, like that for mental awareness. It doesn't define who you are. That you can power through anything. And then and everything. And one more thing that I do want to say, I want to thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it, man, to giving us giving independent artists opportunity to come up here and come hang out with you and come talk and whatever. And I appreciate everybody else that came up in here. And if there's anything that I could do, or if you know I could send you to a link or whatever if you got a song request or whatever, or even if it's an old song that I wrote a long time ago that you've seen online that you'd like for me to play or whatever. I'd be willing to do that. And also too, most importantly, no matter where you're at, I don't care if you're in Maine or Georgia or New York City or California or Washington D.C. If you have a place that you would like for me to play, let me know. and I'll come up there and play just for you.
There you have it, folks. And you can find him. He does accept instant message, correct? Am I
Absolutely.
still correct about that? So
Mhm.
he does accept instant messages. So again, if you're a venue and you know of people, he travels. You see him in a Sprinter van. He gets all over the place.
Yeah.
He's willing to go and come to you. So reach
Yeah.
out to him, show him some love, get him some gigs, because the more this young man is seen, the faster he's going to climb to the top. And you're putting in the work, brother. So I got to tip my hat to you. I mean, traveling in that van is got to be, it's got to be have its trials and tribulations to it. But
Yeah.
you're doing it because you're hell bent and determined to succeed, and that's why I can see in the future you will.
Yeah.
You'll be
Man.
you'll end up on a ticket with Justin Moore, or hell, even Colt Ford, man. Colt Ford, if you're out there listening, I know you don't know who the fuck Bones is and don't care either, but if you're out there listening too, you heard him talk about you, man. You have a show, reach out to this young man and see if he's going to be in your area with one of your shows. Maybe he can be an opener. Maybe you can do a song with him or something, and show this young man some love and get him some propulsion going on here. So,
Yeah.
brother, man, I'm so glad you were on it. It
Yeah.
was nice chatting with you on the phone the other day, but it's nice to be able to look you in the face while we're talking, and actually see you. And
Right.
I feel like this was a very fun show. And thanks for giving us, letting us see your van. I didn't want to show the pictures of the outside of your new van because I don't want people to see what it looks like. I don't want you
Try to
being
wrap it down.
stalked in a Walmart parking lot and be. Next thing you know, they're on the news here. Country singer sensation John Major was accosted in a Walmart parking lot, and while he was in his Sprinter van, I didn't want any of that. So
Yeah. I ain't got no cream pies, but I ain't got no free candy or cream pies, but I got all the songs you want.
there you go. And he has written a plethora of songs, as you all
Yeah.
heard. So, well, I guess that's about the 2-hour mark. I guess we'll go ahead and get ready and wrap this episode up. That way, he's got to get back to work put on yet another fucking hat and start doing some, try to figure out where he's going to make that next stop or two while he's here near me here in Louisville. He's in Richmond, Kentucky. So I'm not exactly sure where he may or may not get picked up, but keep an eye on his site if you're in this proximity, because you never know. He may land a quick gig for this weekend, say, and he may end up, who knows where he could end up in the state of Kentucky. He may be near you. And if he is, if you ain't got nothing going on, go check this young man out. You will not be disappointed. So, John, fucking pleasure, bro.
Dude, thank you so
really
much.
nice, really nice. If you ever want to be back on again, especially in the future, who knows,
Absolutely.
man, you may drop an album, you may end up doing a video, whatever. If you want to show it, feel free to let me know. Cause I mean, hell, we could either redo an episode like this. We could put you on Wolf's show as well. We like to feed off each other to help with numbers. So like she's been in the room pretty much the whole time before her interview. So she didn't get to be a part of it this time. However, I guarantee you she still kind of even sent it to her side. So you have extra people that are seeing this besides just the small numbers that I have. But every day we are growing our numbers a little bit bigger and bigger. So again, everybody, please check out John Major. He's going to be traveling all over. So we're not going to tell you what a Sprinter van looks like, but he may end up in a town near you. So definitely check that young man out. And again, brother, it was great. It was great talking to you. And I really appreciate you giving me the time of day to take 2 hours out of your busy schedule to talk with everybody. I really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you for having me, man. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, a lot of these stories that I told you, especially, like the, like the kangaroos and all that other stuff. There's a lot of stories that people don't know. So it was cool to get on here and kind of share that out,
And I'm trying to get better at learning how to do this stuff so I can do stuff. So looking at your stuff to try to make for interesting shows. So, but the Joey one, I definitely was like, I saw that picture and I was like, yep, I got to ask him what's going on about that. And I think we just lost him again. So we've definitely had a little bit of some problems. It's probably where he's at, or living inside of his, his, whatever you call those big ass vans. But sometimes I think reception can be a huge issue. Now, I don't know if he'll be back now that we were getting ready to wrap up or not, but we'll see. And we'll see if he comes back in. But until then, if not, remember, give likes, give follows to all your favorite people that are up and comers. The up and comers need this. We all need it. So give them a like, give them a follow. Following numbers. There's John. He's back. There we go.
Man, I'm sorry. Every time somebody calls me.
Well, there you go.
I reject the call, and it's every time somebody calls me, like I reject the call, and then it won't go back. And then earlier when it went out the last time, I was sitting there in the driver's seat, and my phone had done got pretty hot because it's over there in front of the window.
Oh,
and it was So I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's all fine, dude. That's the glory about the Unfiltered podcast, man. Is I don't edit shit because I don't know how to yet. So it's live. It is what it is. If people don't like organic and that there's problems, then change the channel. That's fine.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make no difference to me.
We
want people in here that want to be in, and if you don't want to be in, well, then hey, do you? We'll do us. So it's fine. But anyway, I was telling everybody to please look for you, even look for me. If you're liking the podcast so far, people say I do a good job. I'm my worst critic. I'm sure you probably are too, John.
100%.
I feel like I'm shit at everything that I do. But apparently there are people that are pushing me as well. It's kind of like your Justin Moore story. I've got somebody, Pamela Little's, pushing me to kind of do podcasting because she's got faith in it. And if you're liking what you're here, then again, go to his page, go to my page, go to everybody's pages that I deal with. Anybody you've seen on my show, my guy, follow all these artists because all of us, every one of us are all up and comers. Some a little further along than others. Some have a little bit more clout. However, we're all on that bus of trying to get this train rolling and for everybody's careers to take off. So give them a like, give them a follow. It helps. Every little bit helps. You don't have to spend money. Some people like to donate to podcasts. They like to do whatever the star thing is, or when you're on TikTok. If you see this young man on TikTok playing you some ditties, then send the whatever the hell that shit's called. I don't know. I got to learn that stuff too. But
the
galaxies and the hearts and the gifts or whatever the hell they're called. Send that stuff if you like what you hear, because every little bit of that helps this young man out. Or people like me, it helps my podcast out to get likes and to get follows and to get stars. It helps to raise a little bit of money for you, for what you put out, to help you make your show better. Or in this case, you're help put food on his table. This is his job. This is his livelihood. So give him some support and love. And I look forward to, hopefully we'll get to see you in November in person. That would be really cool to hang out and bullshit at the awards show, if you can make it. If you can't, then congratulations on all the nominations. And again, if you like John, if you know him, if you want to, check him out, if you like his music, you want to be a part of the process for the awards show in November, then again, go to southernlightsentertainment.com, go in there, hit vote. You can vote now. You can vote often. This is all fan voting based, so there's no judges. It's all about how many times the fans vote, and we'll tally all voting will end. And you can vote every day for this young man if you want to, but every day is up until sometime in September. Then we're going to cut it off. We're going to have to tally all the votes. And then November 14th of 2026 is where we'll be when we are at the Oak Grove Theater in Oak Grove, Tennessee, is when you're going to find out, did this young man win any of the many awards that he's he's up for. And just to say it one more time before we get off the air here, just to let you know, for our award show, he's up for Songwriter of the Year for Backwoods Outlaw song. He's up for Song of the Year, which also is for the same song, Backwoods Outlaw. He solo Male Artist of the Year and Rising Star. So he was nominated for a lot of things. So go check him out. Vote now, vote often, vote for your other favorites. Whoever you like, vote for these people because they all deserve recognition too. So definitely show them some love. And John, you be careful on the road. Good luck with landing your gigs while you're here near Louisville. And fuck, man, you're here near Louisville. While you're coming through, they just did Thunder over Louisville here. Yeah, what was it? Saturday.
Okay.
So we started our 2 weeks of Derby festivities. That shit goes on all the way up through Derby. So if you happen to stop in Louisville, you never know. There may be some events or some shit going on that may show of interest to you. Or check out the damn track. It's a cool place. So the Kentucky Derby is a really historic, really cool place if you've never been. So, but other than that, I guess we'll sign off for now. John, you be safe, my brother. Best of luck. I wish you all the success in the world in your career. And look forward to seeing you and talking to you soon. Well, I think he dropped out again, or we lost him, or he ended. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But thanks to John for taking time out of his day. I want to thank Wolf Bear for. There he is. He's back. I want to thank Wolf Bear for all the help of helping me start learning how to podcast. And actually, because of her knowledge is why I'm able to sit here and talk to John, because she made my dumbass learn a new skill. Miss Janice, thank you for stopping in. Send him to Mike, have him hook up at the northbound tap. Okay. Oh, so send him to Mike. Probably Mike Clacy is. I think Janice, if memory serves, Janice is a really good friend of Mike Clacy. You probably know who Mike Clacy is, but he is out of Washington and does a lot of stuff at like Ponderosa and Portland, Oregon, and whatnot. Mike's a super stand-up dude. So Miss Janice was saying, definitely check out when you're up that neck of the woods, the Northbound Tap Room. So that sounds interesting. I may have to look into that as well. But again, y'all find out where this young man's going to be. Go show him some love and support and check out his music. You will not be disappointed. Awesome. And I guess that's it. So as for now, everybody have a great rest of your week. Absolutely. And you be careful while you're on the road. And when you get back home for some R&R, say hi to the family for me.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me.
You got it, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. See you, man.
And that's going to be a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for